Welcome to Polyglot podcast. In this episode, we have Pauline, who's living
Plain.
currently in South Korea. Uh, Before the first question, maybe you can introduce yourself shortly.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Pauline. I'm 32 years old, currently living in Korea, but I'm from Russia. What else can I say? I had been living in China for 10 years. And yeah, then after that, I moved to Korea, and now I'm going to live in Korea, hopefully for the rest of my life.
Well, that's interesting. I've got already many questions, but I think
Okay.
we can start from the beginning. So,
Mhm.
what was the first language you learned?
The first language for sure, my mother tongue, Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was born and bred. Yeah, I'm born and bred
Where in
Russian person.
where in Russia?
Uh,
Which city?
Central part of Russia, not very far from Moscow. It's a city called Ryazan.
Yeah,
Um,
never heard about it.
but I'm sure you've heard of some people who were born there. Some, for example, Tsiolkovsky, Pavlov, um, Yesenin. There are lots of important people
Yeah.
that were born. Yeah, but Ryazan is not a big city, so it's okay.
How big is not big in Russia?
I mean, if we compare it to Moscow, it's nothing.
Like how many people live in Ryazan?
I'm not sure, but if we take the region itself, maybe 600 to 800,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Not too many.
Well, Finland's biggest city is Helsinki, but usually we count also Espoo and Vantaa as one. Like so
Oh,
these have 1 million, but Helsinki alone has, I think, 500 or 600,000. So yeah, in our standards, it's big, but Finland is small. We only have 5.5 million people.
yeah, but if you compare regions or cities in Russia, you will understand that our
Yeah,
city is like regional kind of area. Nobody
yeah, I
treats
totally
it
understand.
seriously.
Yeah, like St. Petersburg has more than we have in total, and Moscow maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can talk more about this topic when we speak about the Chinese language later. I think China has even bigger like scope or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were born in Ryazan and you spoke Russian with both of your parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Both of my parents are like they are Russian, but I've got mixed blood because my father's relatives are Tatars. They are not like Russian,
Yeah.
and my mother's relatives, half of them are actually Ukrainian. So if you're talking to a Russian person,
Mm-hmm.
there's there's all kinds of blood inside. It's very hard to just say that I am like
Yeah.
100% kind of
So
Slav nationality.
so your grandparents, some of them speak Tatar as their first language.
Yeah, my late grandma was 100% Tatar person, so she could. And my uncle actually is what do they call it? Haji. He went to this very sacred place where all the Muslim people gather.
Oh, so Haji, is it the word for a pilgrim who has made it to Mecca?
Yes,
Like
exactly.
made the al-Hajj, which I think is
Yes,
the pilgrimage.
yeah, yeah.
Ah,
That's what I
okay.
meant.
And can you remember your grandma talking in Tatar? Like, maybe teaching you something, or did you speak only Russian? Or what was
Oh,
she still alive when you were a kid?
yeah, she was alive when I was a kid, but the only language that we used that I remember was Russian. But I also remember my mom used to tell me that instead of singing lullabies, she would open the Quran
Yeah,
and reading something from
Turas.
that. Yes,
Yeah,
I, but no, we didn't have any conversations in Tatar or any other languages except Russian. My parents could not even speak English, actually. So my journey with English was kind of tough because my mom used to study German language at school, and my father can speak French perfectly well.
was it because of the Cold War, English was not preferred at schools, and
I
maybe
I
German and
guess
other languages, because like East Germany and connections.
maybe
Yeah,
maybe, but I do remember they telling me that it wasn't popular at all. So they used to study German or French or usually German language, and then French too,
yeah,
but no English.
yeah. But so that change from your parents' generation to your generation.
Dramatically,
Yeah.
absolutely dramatically.
So I think we're born in the same year, 1990 or
91,
91.
1991.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you have your birthday in the first part of the year, like early in the year.
No, I was born in May.
Yeah, first
Eh,
half of the year. So, okay,
okay,
yeah.
okay. First,
Because I'm also 32. I'm also 32. So, but my birthday is in October, so I thought maybe we're born in the same year. And so you started school in 97, 98 in Russia.
1998. Yes, I was 7 years old. It's typical age for Russian people to start education, like after, I mean, school,
Yeah, first
after the
class.
kindergarten.
Yeah. And in your at your time, when did you start English? Was it first grade or third or?
No, I went to a special kindergarten thanks to my parents. And the economical situation was really tough, but I'm still really grateful to my parents that
Yeah,
they actually gave me quite a lot. I mean, I'm talking about education. So I somehow made it to a kind of nice kindergarten where students would start learning English at the age of like 4 or
wow.
5 or something
Yeah,
like that. Of course, nothing special. It's like singing, dancing,
yeah, playing
having
with the
fun in
language.
English. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. And is that something special in the city where you lived, or all over Russia? Was it something really special that didn't exist that much?
As far as I understand, it wasn't a typical situation for all the people in Russia because not of course in Russia there are many people who can use English but not that many, so I think it was kind of special. I may be mistaken because of course the school that I went to was also special.
Yeah,
So basically,
yeah,
I cannot compare myself to all the other people in Russia, but I
yeah.
think I was quite lucky with the English language to that point.
And your school was special also.
Yes, it was it's the focus of the education. It was kind of uh, that time it was one of the best schools in our town, and also as far as I remember, I might be wrong because Russia is big, but we did have like our school, was kind of one of the, not the best ones, but it was great.
Yeah, like top 5, top 10, somewhere there.
Top 5, top 10.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if we take Russia, for sure, all the great schools are usually
yeah, but your
situated
city,
in
your
In
city.
Moscow, it was top 3, top 5, something like that.
Yeah.
Western style of education, European standards, and we had English, English focused education. We had English. Then I do remember, you know, in Russia, you know that it's one institution from grade 1 to grade 11. We don't move middle schools or high schools. So we started learning English from grade 1. Then I do remember having ancient history in English
What?
when I was grade 5.
Yeah.
And we also had German language too, as a second language, as a third language, I guess.
Wow.
Russian, English, and German, yes.
And German came in
grade 5.
Yeah.
Till the end, till grade
Wow,
11.
that sounds quite progressive. Even I think in my time in Finland, we didn't even have English starting from the first grade. It was third, but I actually did my first grade in Newcastle, and after that 3 years in Estonia. And Estonia has actually, I think, a bit similar system as you have in Russia. The school where I started, it's one building from first grade 1 to 12th, 11th or 12th. So I came to Finland to do my 4th grade, which was the first year for me in Finland. So but I heard they started on 3rd grade learning English. So
for Russia, it's not very typical too. I mean, some schools that focus on language education, they start teaching English or other languages, depending on the language, from grade 1. But most of them, I'm not sure about now, but maybe grade 3 or something like that.
Yeah. So your school was quite progressive, definitely.
Yeah, thanks to my grandma. Thanks to my grandma, she made me go to that school, because that school was actually very far from my home, very far. So I traveled every single morning.
So she suggested your parents that you should go to that school? Or?
She insisted. She insisted.
Oh, okay.
She insisted because well, I was lucky. One of her best friends was the headmaster of that school. It doesn't mean that I had something. I mean, maybe I had. I don't even remember. Maybe, maybe that was the why I could enter that school. You know that to enter that school, like most of the schools, I guess, you had to pass the exam
to get to
the first grade. To get to the first grade, yeah. I got the chance. I got the chance, and I made it to that school.
Yeah. In Estonia, that school where I went to had also a test, but somehow my dad managed to speak to someone, because I couldn't speak a word in Estonian. So somehow he managed to get me in. But yeah, in Finland we don't have any schools that have like tests if you want to start first grade.
But I guess the system of education is difficult. Oh, I'm sorry, different. Because I don't remember having lots of fun when I was a first grade student. Like we didn't have any grading system, so nobody gave us like, oh, it's an A, it's B, or it's C. They gave us like flowers or maybe
Okay.
clouds, or
Yeah.
to make it kind of easier for small kids. But still, I do remember, like, so we went straight to study.
Yeah. And then after German, no, let's talk about German. How was German?
German was pretty tough for me because it is similar kinda to the English language, but it is different on the other hand. So I do remember having problems with that. If you ask me anything, I cannot remember
Yeah.
most of, but I do remember grammar because we had to, like, we were learning,
The
and
endings of der, das,
the
die,
endings,
and
yes. The accusative,
dative.
dative, dative or some,
Yeah,
die, das,
dative.
dem, die, das,
Yeah,
dem, das, these
yeah,
very things.
yeah.
Our teacher used to live in Germany with her husband, who was a soldier, who was connected to the army.
Yeah,
So, but she used to live what was it called? GDR?
yeah.
The
GDR.
Soviet part of that time's
Yeah,
Germany.
yeah. East Germany.
11
GDR, I
or
think.
yeah,
Or was it
11.
DDR? Which one was it?
I let's 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 call it the Soviet part, like, kind of.
Or just East Germany?
Okay, yeah.
It's
Let's
easier.
because I do remember her telling us a lot of stories, like, um, the system of how did in at school, what did we do? We, of course, we learned grammar, how to read, how to write, but we had exams, and we have like topics. For example, my favorite season, my hobby, and we used to write these essays and learn these essays by heart. And then during the
Okay.
exam, you just take any random number, like 15 topics, all in all.
Yeah.
You have the random number, you choose any number. Okay, hobby. You have to you have to talk about your hobby, which was our topic during the semester, which we've learned by heart, and so
Yeah.
on. So that's how our German classes were.
So do you think they were not very efficient?
They were efficient, actually, but
But learning speaking, maybe.
yeah, speaking mostly, yeah.
Oh, so you learned to speak German, actually.
I used to know how to speak, but after graduating, I've decided that I didn't want to continue German because I chose Chinese.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. One thing before we go into Chinese, I had German at school in Estonia on third grade. And I can remember we had once an exam about different kind of like pens and pencils, and I can remember Kugelschreiber, and I was like, why? Like, we're on third grade, we just started learning German. What? And yeah, I still can't understand why. What did we do with that information?
I have no idea because I remember my Lieblingsjahreszeit or something like that.
Yeah. Favorite seasons. Yeah. But that's much more useful than different kind of pens.
Maybe. Oh, there's another thing I do remember. The Basilian Cathedrale. We used to talk about different cities in Russia, but in German.
Okay.
So Basilian Cathedrale was really kind of the thing that I remember till this
Yeah.
moment.
So you have some Brazilian cathedral somewhere there?
Basilian,
But
Basilian is like
not
Bas
Brazilian. Yeah, but
Basilian. My bad, my bad.
yeah. Okay, interesting.
Vasily Cathedral or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. And so you mentioned Chinese came after
Ah,
German,
yeah.
or was there
Oh,
something in between?
no, no, because if like our school was really good in, and it is still really good in teaching English language, because I do remember when I was in high school, we had what is it called? Country study in English, American and English literature in English, translation in English, like something like that.
Yeah.
Everything is in English, but all the other subjects were not so great. So the only way, the only future that I could imagine for myself was the uh, the university and the foreign languages department. So I graduated from my school and I entered our Ryazan State University, choosing my major. My major is teacher of English
Yeah.
and second language. So we had to choose one more language.
Okay.
And we actually had a variety of European languages that you had to start learning from, being a sophomore.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm sorry, junior. You know, like the system of education, when I was a student, we didn't have 4 years. There were 5 years.
Until
Uh,
like masters, you mean?
yeah, now it is actually like, before we didn't have bachelor degree, it is called a specialist degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a specialist. I have
Yeah.
specialist degree. What is it? I received kind of European certificate that has a big table
Yeah.
that explains a Russian system of education and what is it? What does it mean? Basically, my specialist degree equals to master's degree,
Oh, okay.
somewhat.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like nobody understands. When they ask me, they think I have bachelor degree, but in Russia, if you have bachelor degree now, you
Yeah.
cannot teach at the university after graduating. You have to go and do your master's. But with a specialist degree, I could go straight to working at the university.
Yeah.
If I wanted to.
And
Okay, so yeah.
wait, one question. Is it so that you also graduate from like what is in our country maybe high school, 11th grade? So you're around
Yeah.
16 years old, right?
Uh,
16, 17.
17, 18, something like that.
Okay, so
17,
when you
18.
start university, you're 17, 18, around that age.
Yeah, wait a moment. I yeah, 17.
Yeah,
17.
because yeah, it's a bit different here. The youngest ones starting university are 19 or 20.
Ah,
Yeah.
we have like our school, when I was a student, we didn't have um mm, what is it called? We had two systems, 1-4, 1-4, 1-5. So we used to skip the fourth grade
Yeah. Okay.
at school. So basically, when I finished my third grade at school, I went straight to the fifth grade.
Okay.
So when I graduated from my school, I was 11th grade student, but I only studied for 10 years.
So if you're a bad student, you can't skip fourth grade, or how is it?
No. It was this kind of crazy system when they
Okay.
made like now they do have the fourth grade because when I was a student, these third grade and fifth grade were kind of compressed. There was too much information. That's why they could kind of. I'm not very good at explaining these details because I'm not sure myself. But now basically, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, the information is absolutely the same with the
Okay.
information we got, with the knowledge we got during 2 years, in 2 years only. Like they are just spread a little bit.
So basically, the Russian school system was like a Chinese elevators with the floor number 13. They just skipped
Yeah. Like,
number 4.
screw number 4. We
Yeah.
don't like it. Just like go straight into the fifth grade.
Yeah.
So 17, yeah, 17 years. 17 years. We have this kind of yeah, 17. I was trying to, my math is so bad.
Yeah.
So I was kind of
Yeah.
trying to remember, recollect, and count at the same time. And I entered the university.
Yeah.
After that.
At 17 to 22, you studied and got your specialized trained specialist
yeah
degree.
Specialist degree, yeah, something like that.
And that was also in the same city, or did you
Yeah.
move somewhere?
No, I've decided why hustle why all this
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah.
that time we already had these very we were, I guess, there was an experiment with the centralized examination, the testing system, like European one. So I got my scores, and I decided that my scores are okay for me to enter our university and get a scholarship. Why? Just why making it harder for myself? If I can get a scholarship at our university,
Yeah.
let me just do it. We love a free education chance.
Weren't the Russian universities free, or
It
not
depended.
all?
Like there were quotas. Every university, if it's state university, if it's like
Public?
governmental kind of stuff, if you have if you used to, in my, like when I was a student, um, there were some quotas for every position. If you fit in, if you have to, well, graduating from the university, we have to pass some tests and examinations. And if your score equals or higher than they need, then you can get a chance to have this very quota.
Yeah.
And but if you fail to meet the qualifications, or if you didn't have enough grade, the score, the total score was not enough, then you could just pay for your education, pay for the same course. I was lucky.
Yeah,
I guess.
So you were among the best, so you got the scholarship.
Yeah, I'm on of the luckiest one, so I got the
So
scholarship.
modest.
I
Yeah.
I still don't know that there were so many students,
Yeah.
and maybe I was kind of good.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, yes, I got the chance and I got the scholarship.
Is
So
it
I
a big,
studied for free.
yeah, is it a big percentage who gets the scholarship, or you don't know?
No, 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 no. I don't remember exactly. Like there were like 30 or 40%, or like less than 50%, I guess.
Yeah.
But 1991, there were so many people actually. At that age, I do remember we had a lot of groups. There were a lot of classes from we had A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H
Yeah.
classes, like class A, class B, class
Mm.
C, and so
And
on.
each
Because
class had 20,
uh,
30
no, 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 no,
students?
no, 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 no. When studying a language, our university, and I guess most of the universities, they focus on depth of learning. That's why they could only accept like up to 15, 17 students in one class.
Mm-hmm.
Because only in this way can a teacher give his attention, provide all the materials to every single student.
Yeah.
So we had 15 students, but eventually only 12 graduated.
From
I
your
mean,
group, so
yeah, from
around
my group.
five people
Yeah,
quit.
yeah, quitting.
And so in the beginning, you had to choose a second language, and that was Chinese.
Yes, and actually, thanks to Chinese, I um, I had to change my group because I was the only person from my first group when I was a freshman. I was in group, let it be group D.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that I was the only person from that group. I was the only student to choose Chinese. All the other students preferred French.
Yeah.
But I could not continue studying in that group because Chinese and Japanese languages, we started learning them from being a sophomore, from the second year.
Yeah.
But as for the European languages, they started learning them from year number 3.
Mm.
So our schedules would not match. So I changed my group, and that's how I entered group B, and that was some kind of I actually elevated
Yeah.
I elevated myself from group D to group B because all the best teachers were like A, B, C, and other teachers that were younger, less experienced, maybe they were great. All of them were great, but like all the dinosaurs
Yeah.
took groups
D,
A, B,
E.
and C,
Oh.
and freshers, like fresher teachers, the educators, they took other groups. So I actually got a promotion. I
Yeah.
can call it a promotion, and that's how I started my journey with Chinese.
Yeah. But for everyone, it was the first year only Russian language, like Russian literature, or
Yeah, actually, oh yeah. During the first year, we were not allowed to use English because when we like first day at the uni, our teachers told us, forget everything that you have studied before. We will start afresh. And we actually spent the first semester with our mirrors.
Really?
They made us, yes, mirror for mute exercises. We were learning how to pronounce every single sound separately. It was kind of fun. We learned how to build this sentence structure, how to put stresses on words in a sentence. We learned how to breathe. We learned the theory of pronunciation of each sound. It was kind of funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I accidentally said Russia. I forgot. I thought that you had said before that it was Russian, like becoming a Russian teacher teaching Russian. But yeah, it was English. Yeah, I mixed them up.
English and Chinese. But actually, you were right. So the first year for us was a year of studying how to pronounce English vowels, consonants, whatever, our kind of jaw, where to put our tongue when pronouncing the sounds. So basically, it was all in Russian. It was all in Russian.
The whole year? Do you really need that much time?
Not the whole year. I guess not the whole year, but at least one semester. I do remember at least one semester.
Yeah.
There was a mixture of English for sure, but we were not allowed to use English that much.
Yeah.
We were starting afresh.
Yeah.
And the second year, yes, Chinese and English.
Were there any differences between the groups? Like everyone who chose Chinese were a bit more like-minded, and like the ones who, or it was there was no correlation?
No, actually, when I switched my group, I was enthusiastic because I wanted to study Chinese. But when I entered that group, the majority of students, they chose Chinese only because their teacher, the tutor, suggested them to choose this language. They were not like kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, let's study Chinese. And I do remember being the only person during our Chinese class
who was enthusiastic about it.
I was the only person being present sometimes.
Out of the 17,
whole group. They to learn Chinese or Japanese, they actually divided our group into two separate groups.
Okay.
So the smaller the group, the better the result. So I used to be the only one out of 7 or 8 students.
And initially, what made you interested to learn Chinese?
Chinese, the challenge.
Okay.
I thought like actually I was thinking about that. I was not interested in European languages because I thought, of course, I was foolish to think that, but I thought that if I want or if I need any of the Western languages in the future, or maybe German, okay, I have some experience with German, so if I need it, I can kind of learn it again. French, well, my father speaks French, and I couldn't imagine myself in a situation when I needed that language. And I thought, like, if I need or if I want to, I could do it myself later.
Yeah.
With Spanish, we had Spanish option. Spanish, I was just like, Spanish? I don't know. But then they had Japanese and Chinese. And I was just like, oh, these are some interesting languages. But that time, I decided that Chinese would be a better option because it's more difficult.
So I guess you got a good challenge, a big one.
Oh yeah, the biggest, I guess, in my whole life. The biggest challenge I've ever. To be honest, there were parts of me crying
Yeah.
inside when being in China, for example, or when studying Chinese. I was just like, why would you do that to yourself? But yeah, Chinese that is.
Yeah.
And we were an experiment. Our group, our Chinese group, was treated as an experimental group. So, can you imagine?
What kind of experiments did they conduct on you?
Well, the thing is that if you study languages that lots of people are teaching and studying, there is a certain kind of technique. They know how to do it and what to do.
Yeah.
But with Chinese, nobody knew how to teach us. Nobody. So basically, if you ask me, I can be honest. The first 2 years of me trying to learn Chinese at the university were like, you can forget about them. Because every single semester, every new semester, we used to have new teachers trying to start all over again because according to them, we were doing it all wrong.
Why?
And it's just they didn't have any um, um, any knowledge on how to teach students English. I mean, we are our city was not connected to China. If you go to other regions of Russia, for example, Vladivostok,
Yeah,
they
which is
start learning.
closer. Yeah.
They start learning Korean or Chinese or Japanese at school. So they have the system, they know how to teach, they know how to learn. Well, if you go to Moscow, it's a big city, you can find whatever you want there. But if you go to our city, we didn't have you ever heard of Confucius institutions all over the world?
We have it also in Finland.
Well, I helped to open this institution in our university. Yes, I was the person who were translating, who was actually who took part, who was talking to trying to kind of communicate to people in China, and we had a whole concert. I was there. I was just like, welcome our Chinese teachers and blah blah blah. And I helped I helped with translation. I helped with organization or something like that. Being a student.
So you started the process, or you were like part of? I
was a volunteer. I was volunteering, something like that. I was just a student who was enthusiastic, who had a chance. It was, I guess, grade 3. I was grade 3 student, and one day I saw an opportunity to go to China during summer vacation. It wasn't free, but it was like 1 month courses in some Chinese university, and our university in Ryazan was trying to kind of collaborate with them for the first time. So they needed some students to go there to for promotional purposes.
Yeah.
And I went to my parents and I said, like, Mom, I know that might be pricey, but if you if you could help me to go to China for 1 month in summer, could you please do that for me? And she said, like, go.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
yes.
nice.
Because
Yeah.
she saw an opportunity. She saw a chance for me to go to this country
Yeah.
that was a total mystery
Yeah.
for us. And after that, after the first, like after we went there
So
for
there
some
were
of the,
other students as well, not only you.
yes, there were like there were 6 students. Some of them were from our university, and some of them were studying Chinese like as their hobby. There was such an opportunity, and we went there. There were like, yeah, there were 6 of us from our city. And when we get to that university, there were other students from Vladivostok, from Khabarovsk, from Moscow too. So not only us.
Mm.
After
wait,
that, our university.
wait a moment. I
Yeah.
cannot stop my alarm. It has been ringing every 5 minutes. Okay,
Oh, I
I
couldn't
hope.
hear that.
Yeah, I could hear it every 5 minutes. I had to push, but I think everything is now okay. So you went to China?
Yeah. Um, it it wasn't like anything. No, it was a big deal for me for sure, but it was mostly like summer courses. We were actually the only people showing up for every single class.
Okay.
Because all the others were like partying, woo, another country, let's have fun. And we were like, morning classes, morning classes.
So other students
Chinese.
from maybe European countries had also come there to like study Chinese for a month, but they
Yes, they were American students too. I do remember Korean students who never showed up.
what?
Never, never, never.
Yeah.
I only saw them during some kind of trips, small trips. They were always sleepy, but they never showed up. I didn't see them during classes. They had fun. They just enjoyed their life there.
Why come there if they don't show up? Maybe they got some scholarships or
Mm,
grants for
mm,
that.
Maybe or maybe not. It
Rich
depends.
parents.
Like, no,
No?
those courses were not that expensive, to be
Okay.
honest. Because my parents could afford them, and
Yeah.
from I am not from a wealthy family.
Yeah. Okay.
But I guess summer courses, even if you want to learn at least something, I mean, come on, it's only like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The only thing that you can learn, like a little bit about culture, how to make like tea ceremonies, or how to draw a cute character and
Yeah.
something like that. That's it. It's only for the entertainment and for to make it more interesting, and for the universities to have their ties, to make ties with the and connection between the universities. Because after our trip to China, they actually came to our city and opened their Confucius institution.
Did it help that you showed up at the classes, or did you talk
Yes,
to some teachers and hey, we want to have this center
it
in our
helped
city?
me in the future. It helped me in the future because I went to China. I won a grant, and I studied in China first for 1 semester, and then after that for 1 year for free.
Wow. And that was after graduating, or you were still studying?
Um, the first time when I decided to go and to try winning a grant, I was grade 5, the
Before,
last
yeah.
year. the final one. That's why I wanted to go for 1 year, but they said my university declined. They said you have two options. The first option is you can go for 1 semester only, like summer to winter, but you must study there and here for the same time. Or you have to
Oh,
come back. You have to come back in December and take all the tests and all the exams with your friends. To do that, you have to have all your homeworks done and sent
yeah.
to your monitor of the group. You have to do all the tests. Like basically, I studied in China for 1 semester, but at the same time, I had to study
Yeah,
there too.
simultaneously.
Simultaneously. That was crazy. I would never repeat that again. Never, never.
Did you have
And
any free time, or did you just have to study every day, all the day,
I
all day?
I was young, so I managed to even go to parties, have
Yeah,
fun, have everything. So I was much younger and
yeah.
much more energetic, and so yeah.
And
That wasn't my
which
yeah.
cities were these? Like the first time and the second time?
The first time, second time, all the same university, the same city. It's northeastern part of China. The city is called Changchun city. Not very popular, but not as crowded as Beijing. I don't like Beijing that much. Kind of not very. It's not a place for tourists, but there are a lot of universities there. And the Chinese is that they teach was Mandarin Chinese. So, and we had ties with that university. Our university was friends and is friends with that university. So I went there.
Yeah.
In
And
Changchun.
yeah. So how was your year in Changchun?
The second time when I went there,
Yeah.
it was after graduation already. It was great. It was great. Actually, I realized that as for other languages, I mean, like for example, English, I do believe that people can learn it and master it without even going to the English-speaking country.
Yeah, true.
But as for such languages like Chinese, especially Chinese, being there, living there, will level up your studies and your knowledge, like for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Because even 1 semester gave me so much, and I could when I before going to that very first semester, I actually lost my interest in Chinese. I had that period of time too, because of the teachers. We had teachers, young teachers, Russian teachers, who didn't know anything themselves. Like,
Yeah.
and I lost my interest, and I stopped even doing my homeworks for the whole year.
Yeah.
But when I went there for 1 semester, I realized how much knowledge I acquired. And when I went there for 1 year, first I decided to take master degree, but then there was a not very pleasant situation with students and one teacher in China, and they gave me another grant for studying, and then they took it away.
Okay.
So basically, they took away an opportunity for me to continue education in China. I was very heartbroken.
Mm. And this was the time in your final year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was when I actually graduated from my Russian
Yeah.
university
Yeah.
and continued studying Chinese. Just I took courses. It wasn't like it was a program of studying Chinese for Chinese only.
Yeah.
There wasn't any major, just Chinese.
Mm. Uh, what were the struggles you had, especially in the beginning?
I mean, with Chinese language,
Yeah, or you still struggle?
well, I stopped learning Chinese when I started living there. Um, but this the struggle with Chinese language is the Chinese language itself. Like, I mean, their grammar is simple. Some people might not agree with me, but I believe the grammar is nothing if you compare it to Russian grammar, for example. But imagine looking at a picture, which is a character that has, you have to remember the way it is written. You have to remember the way it is pronounced, and you have to remember its meaning. And these three kind of things have nothing, like no connection to each other. So you see a picture, you need to memorize the picture.
Yeah, and sometimes when you put some line or some small shape, it's completely different.
Completely different, and they have of course there are some small, they're called radicals or
Radicals.
keys. Yes, of course you can learn them, and um, they can help you understand kind of some meaning. Maybe you will be kind of closer, or maybe it will help you with the pronunciation. But with all this system of tones, there are 4 tones. You can have the same word in different, you can hear the same word in different tones, and that will be a whole new character. It was kind of mind blowing.
How much could you read and write when you graduated and moved to China?
um there are 6 levels. Like if you take a test which is called HSK, Hanyu Shu Ping Kao Shi, there are 6 levels all in all. I do year 2013. I took the exam and I got level number 5. So I got the 5th level. Of course, it's expired already. First, I decided to continue and I wanted to get level number 6. But when I started living there and working there, I realized that actually it's true for every single language.
Mm.
Tests and the real language, they're 2 different paths.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I understand. I think my level is around HSK 3. I haven't taken any test, but I've seen what
Take it.
the word lists and every. I don't know. I don't need. I don't have any need to like do the official test. So I was 3 months in Chengdu in 2017.
Chengdu is such a great place. Oh
Uh,
my God.
I got so demotivated after that
Really?
months that I stopped. Yeah, I stopped Chinese for 3 months after returning back to Finland. But after that, I continued. But I still struggle because I have so many things, so many other languages to keep up with, and
Oh,
so even though I started 7 years ago, I I struggle a lot. So I understand the struggles because I'm still yeah, far away back in the journey of mastering or surviving with Chinese.
well, you can, I think, if we talk about Chinese, like if we talk about any language, it's kind of mastering a language is a kind of thing that I don't quite agree with, like total mastering
Yeah,
of
yeah,
a.
yeah. It's
But surviving with the language, to survive with Chinese, you have to be there. I have a friend who is married to a Chinese person, and she is literally like, she cracked the key. She has, most of her friends are Chinese. Her husband is Chinese. She works with Chinese people. She is genuinely interested in Chinese culture. That's how she can keep up with all these new words that pop
yeah,
up
yeah.
every single season. She is like, she's not surviving anymore. She is in like, she's really literally there. But um, I've got a love-hate relationship with the China and Chinese, so I cannot say the same about myself. So
So did you reach that level of fluency also, that you flourished in China and with the Chinese
I cannot,
language?
I cannot say that if I compare myself with my friend who's really into it, I can say that I lack knowledge, but I can totally say that my level made me live comfortably. So I had no problems going to a bank, to the police station, anywhere in China, like talking to anybody, going to a hospital. I took my friends who could not speak Chinese to the hospital. So basically, no problems like at all. Of course, I couldn't read books like literature or
Yeah.
something like that, but I could read Chinese news. I could talk to Chinese people. I could listen. I could understand. I could have a decent conversation with my colleagues too. So I think that was a comfortable level of an
Yeah.
expat.
Yeah, for me, the biggest struggle was that I couldn't read anything at the time,
Mhm.
and I of course used WeChat, and I was like, yeah, I want some food. Then I was looking, oh, it's all in Chinese characters, or I also wanted to get get a cab, a taxi, but I was like, I can't do anything with the WeChat because I couldn't read. So
They have English version now, WeChat.
okay, 2017 they didn't
Ah,
have.
yeah, yeah. They didn't have anything like that. Yeah.
Did you have like uh, mostly Chinese friends in China, or no?
No, no, no,
Did you
no.
also have international friends?
I had international friends mostly, and a couple of friends, of Chinese friends, because um, I, to be like, there are such kind of people that are called an egg and a banana. Have you ever heard of
No,
this
no, I
thing?
haven't.
So an egg is, it's kind of racist, but an egg is a person who is white on the outside but yellow on the inside.
Ah,
If you
okay, I have heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah, and banana is vice versa. Is an Asian person who lives in a Western or country or somewhere, and they live perfectly fine there. So I could not call myself an egg. I didn't. mm,
Did you want to
China.
be an egg?
I didn't want to. China was very triggering for me.
In
It
which ways?
in a negative way.
Yeah.
um the culture is so different, and the thing is that um Asian culture is so different from our culture. So you have to either be a total fan of Asian culture, or you have to have a reason to be wanting to become the part of this society. And I had no reasons, because
Mm.
I loved people that I met in China. Chinese people, some of them, well, I had some bad situations too, but
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Chinese people, they helped me so in so many ways, but there was nothing I could do. I didn't want to be, I didn't see myself as a part of that culture because my heart was somewhere else.
Where?
All well, my heart was in Russia, where my family is for sure, and in South Korea, where my boyfriend was, and now my husband. And with this coronavirus situation, oh, the coronavirus situation, I survived it in China.
Oh my God. I don't know how it was, but the news that I saw were pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Was it like,
for it was pure hell. It was pure hell. It was like 2.5 years of constant lockdowns, trackings, QR code, every day, no swaps, everything swaps, all the testings, the masks, when another lockdowns, when we had several QR codes. We had a QR code of like health code. Every day we had to do some tests by scanning our QR code. If you don't do the test, your QR code turns red and you cannot enter any building, like any supermarket or bus or subway, nowhere. You cannot go anywhere. And another code was your transportation code, which showed not only the city you've been to in like for like what was the time, like in 2 weeks, the region, the city, and the part of the city. So we were just watched all around. And I actually went back home for winter vacation in 2020 when the situation just started.
yeah.
So when I went back, I spent about 1 month in isolation in different places.
Yeah.
2 weeks in what was it? Changchun. Then 3 weeks in Changchun. They sealed my apartment. They sealed the door, and they installed the camera, so I couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
After that, oh, there was another situation in 2020, 2022. The whole city was I think you've heard about Shanghai lockdown.
I saw some videos like people screaming in the
Yeah,
at night. So,
it all started with our city, with our region, but our region is not as big as Shanghai's region. So when Shanghai when Shanghai was locked, they forgot about us. And I was locked with my locked with my colleagues. I was locked on our university campus. The campus was empty. They made all the students who were coming back from the holiday to go back home to all the different regions of China. So our campus was locked. We couldn't go out from our apartments.
yeah.
We have tests, 2 tests every single day, and we struggled to get food.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that people were starving all over China.
Yes, and the lockdown lasted for like from the beginning of March till the end of May.
So did you were at the campus for 2 months?
Yeah, March, April, May, like around 3 months.
Oh, wow. I saw that some people who got the red code were in some like public toilets, and they locked people there or something, like really. And
It was
one video about from a mall that someone got a red coat and everyone started running towards the entrance.
That's true, because they would seal the whole entrance. If the building, like there is a building, if there is one, I don't know, apartment with somebody with red coat, they would seal the whole apartment. They would not let anybody out.
Quite dystopian.
That's how I got my depression. That's when I started being in therapy with the psychologist, because like it was so crazy. It was devastating.
Yeah, I can't imagine. That's like from a movie, like or what happened. It wasn't that bad here in Finland because I mean there are not that many people, but following the news, especially from China, yeah.
Yeah, and now you can imagine like me being reluctant to leave. I had contract. I worked at the university and I had a contract. And my boyfriend went to Seoul. He graduated from the university in China, and he went back to Seoul, but he was struggling to get job here, because like we decided that I had to move to South Korea, but I could not move before he found a job. It would be kind of ridiculous for us. So imagine we had a long distance relationship for we didn't see each other for 3 years and a half.
Oh,
3.5 years.
God.
But before that, we had several years of just kind of living for two countries. He used to fly to China 2 times a year, and I used to fly to Korea.
Yeah.
So that's how we kind of maintained our relationship.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, I was not willing to live in China. I was not willing to continue my language journey, Chinese, because I was not the egg. I didn't want to become an egg in China.
Yeah, and after 10 years, at the end of
Yes.
COVID or amidst the COVID pandemic, you moved to South Korea, or when did that happen?
When Beijing when Beijing announced that they are opening their like we can travel now. First, the tickets prices were so high. I
Like
could not afford.
how much?
In wait a moment, in yuan, that were like 10K yuan. 10K yuan means, oh, wait a moment, I'm so bad at counting. Let me just check.
Yeah.
Online calculator.
Sure.
Wait, should I the United States dollar and the Chinese yuan? The ticket price was around $1,400
From China to
Beijing to Moscow.
Moscow, okay.
Beijing to Moscow.
So usually it's around maybe 500, 400?
No, usually I would pay for round trip.
Yeah.
Round trip, I would pay $500 for round trip.
Yeah. So it was like 3 times more now.
Yes, and now imagine I have so much. I had so much stuff, so I need to kind of ship it all. And I was waiting for the opportunity to. I couldn't go to Korea because I couldn't go as a tourist. Because if you come as a tourist, you cannot change your status to marriage visa.
Yeah, okay, while you're staying there, so you just have to go away and come back if you do that.
Yes.
Okay.
But that was crazy. So when I found the cheapest tickets, like not the cheapest tickets, but the tickets I could afford,
Yeah, yeah.
I called my company, and I called the university, and I said, like, I'm sorry, but I'm teaching till the end of this semester, till the end of the year, and then I'm leaving. That's like my decision, and I just left.
Yeah.
I finished my work, I finished my contract, and I just left immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Although you had maybe some time left the contract in China, or...
Actually, couple of months. I know.
Okay.
My contract had to be renewed with my visa, together with my
Yeah.
visa, my working visa. We had to renew it in November, but I wanted to, no, November. Yes, the beginning of November, but I found tickets like the end of December. So what did they do? They didn't give me another working visa, but there is another visa in China for people who want to leave China, but they can still have some time to finish their stuff, to finish all the things.
Yeah.
So this visa only allows you to stay till some certain date, and then you must leave the country. Yeah. So I got that visa. Kind of scary because it's red. Yeah. It's like canceling my state. All my visas were like bluish, greenish, and then red one.
Yeah.
And I went to Russia. I haven't been there for 3 years. I haven't seen my parents, my brother, my friends for 3 years. I went there. I grabbed all the documents that I needed.
Yeah.
And I moved to Seoul in May.
Yeah. So this May or last year?
This May. Yeah, this May.
So, yeah, 2023 May.
No, yes, it's 2023.
Yeah.
Yes, May 2023.
Yeah, if someone is watching in the future, like in 100 or 200 years, or I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. May 2023, yeah.
Yeah, because someone might in the future search up stories about the COVID, about this historical event. So maybe...
Can you imagine? Can you imagine people writing papers about COVID as a history?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was quite special, like a historic event.
Oh my God, these years are too
much.
There is too much going on. There is too much going on. Like all the other generations will have a very busy life writing about everything.
Yeah, I guess our grandparents and grandparents also had quite tough, but I think our parents' generation was a bit easier, maybe, or not, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I think
our parents had other things to think about. They had to think about the way, what should they eat.
Yeah. I think the hardest time has been for the people who maybe were born in the early 1900s. Like, they had 2 world wars and Great Depression and everything else.
Yeah. Yes.
So anyways, so now you've lived in South Korea about half a year. It's August.
No, half a year.
Half a year.
3 months.
3. Oh yeah. May, not March.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh my God, half a year.
Yeah, time flies,
Time flies really fast.
Yeah. I mixed March and May. So you live now in Seoul.
In Seoul, yes.
And
I wish we could move somewhere else, but my husband is against it.
He's from Seoul.
He's from Seoul.
Yeah, so all the family is there as well.
Yeah.
So you want to move to a smaller city or town?
Or at least somewhere nearby, because Seoul is really expensive. It's like
Mhm.
The everything is so expensive, so expensive.
Yeah, probably compared to China. I mean, China was at
Compared,
2017 at least quite cheap.
oh my God, compared to China, compared to Russia, compared to anything. I don't know what should we compare Seoul to, but it is expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, Nordic countries are also quite expensive. For example, Norway is probably one of the most expensive ones. If you want to eat a pizza or some fast food, it's maybe
Okay.
around 20 euros. In Finland, it's maybe one pizza is 10, usually 10 to 12 euros, like the fast food places.
Mm-hmm. As for, wait a moment, South Korean, I'm trying to, I'm so bad at counting. So where is South Korean? South Korean one, if you eat a pizza at a local place that is not very expensive, maybe. Oh no, I'm sorry. Where is South Korean? South Korean one. Oh, it's like starting 12 or $13.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, around
It's
the
like
same as here, converted into euros, so almost the same.
But okay, pizzas, okay, we could
Mhm.
eat at home, but
Yeah.
fruits and vegetables are really expensive.
Okay. What about the rent? Average rent for a like studio?
Studio, we live in a studio.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, to be honest, I'm not like, okay, let me just
So you
count.
still don't know enough about the prices of.
I we have for example, wait a moment. Say, oh, our monthly rent is around five, is around $400
That's super cheap.
monthly rent.
Yeah, in Helsinki, for example, studio in the city center it could be 1,000 or more. If it's in the outer city, then it could be 600-700 at
But
cheapest.
to get this, actually, yeah, it is cheap. But to have this monthly, oh, plus Guanlibi. Guanlibi is an elevator and stuff. Plus
Mhm.
Guanlibi, what is it? Elevator, electricity and water is also 230. So it makes it 800, more than $800.
Mhm.
And also before renting, you need to, what is it
Deposit.
called? Yes, the deposit was around $4,000.
Oh, that's a lot. Here it's a 1 to 3 month rent typically.
In Korea, the higher is the deposit, the lower is the monthly payment,
Yeah. Okay.
something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I had the image that South Korea and Japan both are quite expensive compared to other Asian countries.
Yeah, China was so good.
Yeah. So in South Korea, what are you? Do you have a job? Do you
Um,
something or?
I well, I do have my I do have my own students. For example, I'm teaching Chinese and English, like private lessons
Hmm.
or so. These
Online?
students, yes, online. Yes, online. And I'm currently I work as a freelancer. I cannot teach English as a teacher. I cannot be a teacher of English in South Korea because their law is pretty strict. You have to have passport of the English-speaking country. But I do work as a freelancer in culture centers for kids.
Yeah.
There are huge malls like Lotte malls or maybe Hyundai malls. They have culture centers for kids where parents could just leave their kids for a variety of classes and then have their shopping day. They can shop freely and spend their money there. So there are different types of classes, and I do have some classes in English. I'm not teaching English, but we have funny experiments with kids, having fun in English. So it's not considered teaching English exactly, but it's having some experimental classes, educational classes in English.
Okay, so maybe something that you had in kindergarten in Russia.
Yes.
Like
kindergarten,
playing and that kind of stuff, having fun.
Playing, making some something, some funny things. Wait a moment, I can show you. I can show you one thing that I've stolen.
Yeah.
Once we were talking about plants and how they produce oxygen, and it is a bamboo sprout.
Yeah.
So we made something like this together with kids, and I've stolen one bamboo. Something like that. So to tell kids, to talk about natural things, about lenses, how they work, or maybe about plants, parts of plants, something like that. And I also have some docent program at one of the aquariums, but not in Seoul, in Suwon. It's next to the it's basically, they have a huge aquarium there with sharks, with I saw one of them, so cute. And I am being their guide. I'm guiding them in English, talking about different kind of stuff.
Oh, interesting. Do you teach do you teach the children in Korean or English?
English only.
And I guess in the beginning they don't understand anything, but you simply instruct them.
Yes. So there are many, like there are pictures. There is another teacher assistant, Korean assistant there. I had 2 classes like that, 2 programs like that, and I can tell you that eventually they can understand everything if you exaggerate the things. It's kind of fun because I'm low-key having fun myself.
Okay, that's the best job, when you have fun yourself.
True.
What's your Korean level now?
My current level, which is expiring, the certificate is expiring this October. In October, my current level is level 4.
Like
there are
topic?
6.
Is it called topic?
Topic. Yes, topic. Level 4. And I managed to. I will have another exam, topic exam, in October, this October. It's kind of tough, but if you ask me whether I need this certificate, I can tell you, no, I don't. But this is the way I actually evaluate my level.
Yeah.
I do this thing for fun.
Could these certificates be needed if someone wants to get the topic 4 or 5 to get into some universities to get a
Yes.
job or something like that?
Yes, absolutely. So in Asia, I feel that in Asia, they really love certificates. They love not only just talking to you and evaluating your level of language, but they love seeing all these papers.
Yeah.
Level 4, level 5.
Yeah.
So for Korean people or for foreigners, they try to obtain as many sheets of paper that nobody needs.
Yeah.
As they can. We all understand that all these levels, they do not show the real knowledge. They do not show, but they need that. So basically, yes, I will try to find in the future when my Korean level, when I upgrade my Korean level, I would like to find a job connected to maybe translation, maybe some kind of communication between Korean people and foreigners and so on. That's where I need this topic. I need this certificate.
Yeah.
But it's
do you speak in Korean or English with your boyfriend, or is it husband now?
Husband
now. Yeah.
He doesn't speak English at all.
Oh, that's perfect. Like from a point of view of a language learner.
Yes, we used to use Chinese language when we just started dating.
So you met each other in China, in
China.
Changchun.
His Chinese is better than mine, much better. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but yes, we couldn't use any other language except Chinese. We used Chinese for like 3 years of our dating story.
And then how many years now you've been using
together?
Korean?
Oh, to be honest, I've been studying Korean for like maybe 5 years, but I wasn't consistent at all. I studied so many times, but I had my full-time job and I wasn't. No. We used Chinese and we were good. But then I realized that, oh my God, this is not just dating story. We might need to start a family, and I'm a strong believer that if you have a family, you must have a language that both of you can speak perfectly. If it's the third language, it must be on a perfect level. Or if it should be somebody's mother language.
I agree.
So I started learning Korean because like Chinese is not the best language for an international couple.
Do you think like communicating in a third or I don't know, fourth language for you and for him, like with his second language, do you think that sometimes creates also some tensions because you're not speaking in your native languages? Is it harder?
It is harder. It is certainly. If I say that, oh no, we can perfectly understand each other, I would be lying. But it was really hard at the very beginning, because it was not imagine using third language for both of us, or a second language for both of us, and trying to make this communication and especially arguing.
Yeah.
It was really tough. Now I'm getting to it because you must not only speak a good language, you must also understand the logic of people using this language.
The culture.
the culture is key. Culture is key. That's why I study a lot. Like there are different programs all over the city and all over the country connected to culture, connected to history, and I'm like, oh, I want to participate. I want to
Yeah.
participate.
Yeah.
Any type of activity, making something, reading something, learning something. Ooh, I'm into. I'm in
Yeah.
because it's key. Now it's easier for me to argue with my husband.
Great. So that's the advantage of like getting on a higher level in our
Yes.
target language. Does your husband understand any Russian?
Yes, but he learned, he knows swear words, but
Yeah.
he didn't learn it from me.
Yeah.
He can swear in Russian. He knows some word like, yeah, he knows all the basic things for tourists, like hello, thank you, very delicious, goodbye.
Okay.
That's his like top.
Yeah.
And swear words for sure.
So you mentioned about maybe creating a family. So if you would have children in the future, what have you thought about? What languages are you going to talk?
I'm already planning, like for my future
Yeah.
kids, they must have 2 languages. They absolutely must. And I know that it would be a tough job
What language would
because
you speak?
Russian, Korean and Russian. No, I would speak Russian only
Yeah.
with my children. There would be a rule of the thumb. Only Russian with me.
Yeah.
When we are together, because they will be growing in a Korean speaking community and society. Korean will certainly be their first language and the easiest language for them, but I am a strong believer and I'm very determined to pass my own language and my own culture to them. Even if they will be Koreans and have Korean passport, they must know how to read and to how to write. Absolutely.
Yeah, the
I
same
would
with
do my
us.
best.
My wife, who's Ukrainian, she's going to speak Russian only, and I'm going to speak only Finnish. So my wife is actually she's pregnant currently, so we are getting our first son in
Oh,
October, November.
oh
Yeah,
my God, so soon.
yeah,
Congratulations.
it's quite soon. So yeah, we are both big language enthusiasts, and yeah, we have already big plans. That yeah, I'm gonna speak Finnish. My wife Russian. Maybe when he and maybe the other children in the future are older, a bit Ukrainian, like when they already have a good foundation in Russian, so that they understand when if we visit Ukraine, so they could
Yeah.
understand. And we also had the crazy plan of always hiring a Japanese au pair, like every year a new. So the au pair could teach our children and us both like Japanese,
Oh,
or I don't know, Japanese, Korean. We both we like I mentioned before beginning
yeah.
this discussion. I mentioned that we both have started learning Korean, but we are still beginners. So I don't know Japanese, but yeah, Japanese, Korean, some language. And in Finland, they will learn English and
English.
also Swedish. It's a mandatory language here at school.
Oh,
Yeah.
so how many mandatory languages are there? Like
You mean official languages?
official, yes, official languages and languages that students must
So
study.
in total three. Uh, Finnish, Finnish and Swedish are the official languages. So
Yeah.
we have a minority of 5% of Finns who speak Swedish as their first language. And there are even communities where they might not even speak Finnish, like they don't understand and can't speak it. But yeah, Finnish, Swedish, everyone has to learn English since first grade. And it's quite common to have a fourth, fifth, and maybe sixth language. Not like a lot of people, a lot of my friends have tried like at high school, like a fourth or fifth language, but they have just taken a few classes and that's it. So most of the people have like some kind of skills at minimum of 3 languages. But when I think about my friends, a lot of them have tried 4, 5 languages. That's quite normal here. But we have also some Sami people, the indigenous people. So they speak Northern Sami, it's called Sami, Inari Sami, but there are not that many who speak those languages. It's mostly in northern Finland. Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah, and because we speak such a small language, we need to learn other languages like English, and quite often Spanish is quite popular. German, French, Italian also.
Well, it's not very Spanish. Spanish is kind of far, but German language.
German used to be. I think according to the statistics, German was the most popular optional language from the 90s to 2000s. But I think currently, I think Spanish is the most popular optional language. At least in top 3. Yeah.
People want to go somewhere to the kind of warmer places.
Yeah, Canary Islands is actually probably the #1 place for Finnish families with children. They always go to Canary Islands.
This is so cool. I mean, Europe is so packed with different languages and different places.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah. And South Korea, it's mainly South Korean and Jejuan in Jeju Island, but do you think it's more like a dialect and not language?
Dialect, total. Yes, they do. Actually, they don't understand each other, but it's still a dialect.
I think it's classified as a separate language.
Oh, it's not. I didn't hear that. I need to.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's controversy because there are a lot of examples of languages or dialects where linguists have differing opinions.
Yeah, well, in China it's the same. I mean, they do have Cantonese and Chinese, but there are many other dialects too. There are like 50 something dialects there.
Yeah, the
Hokkien, they don't understand each other.
Shanghainese, all Wu, yeah. And speaking of dialects, or no, languages, Russia is so huge, and I mean, you have tens of languages, like Caucasus, Chechen, and all the what else?
True.
Well, all the like Buryat in the is it neighboring Mongolia or Kazakhstan? But anyways, a lot of languages also.
Buryat is neighboring Mongolia.
Yeah, and also the majority of Uralic languages are in Russia: Komi, Khanty, Mansi, Udmurt.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. There are so many different people, even.
Or have you thought about this linguistic diversity in Russia that much?
I didn't, to be honest. I didn't dive that deep into that because I guess that's a shame. But I guess anyway, the majority of those people can speak Russian and they use Russian. That's why I didn't have an opportunity or even a chance to hear or to experience other languages or dialects like that.
Yeah.
But now that you've mentioned that, I started
Yeah, because I
thinking,
think it's super interesting when I look at the map of Russia and see all the languages, like from Uralic language family, from Caucasus, Siberian. They have like
mm,
Turkic languages there, and some
yes,
Inuit languages
Persian
also.
languages. Mhm.
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting how I don't know
Languages are.
if Russia has even more than 100, but at least tens of languages.
Well, not I'm not sure about languages.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm sure there are, but nationalities more than 100 nationalities as far as I remember.
yeah,
Different
uh,
ethnic groups.
yeah. But what I've read, maybe it's the same, at least in the Soviet period, as actually in the Nordic countries, the Nordic countries actually repressed the use of Sami languages, and they forced them
Mm.
to speak the national language like Swedish, Finnish, or Norwegian in Nordic countries.
Well, I am certain it happens to every big country
Yeah,
or
exactly.
maybe not big country, but that
Mhm.
has a variety of different people.
Yeah,
To some point, government either recommends or pushes them to learn the official
yeah,
language anyway,
yeah,
like Mandarin in China or Russian language in Russia.
yeah. I think the situation has maybe changed during the last 20 years or something when people start to think about like the importance of different languages and the cultures. I think that has happened all over the world
That's
recently.
true. That's true.
Yeah. So you can write in at least four different writing systems: Latin,
Eh,
Cyrillic, Hangul, and Kanji.
yes.
Are there any others?
No,
Yeah,
no. Chinese like Mandarin, Hangul, yeah, Latin and Cyrillic. Yes,
yeah. That's
four.
yeah. I think that's the most this far from my all 11 guests. So that's quite well.
But that's because, surprisingly and accidentally, I've chosen four different languages from
Yeah.
different parts.
But I think it's quite useful to be able to read and write different writing systems.
That's true. That's true. And Chinese also helped me a lot with Korean too,
Mm.
because
Uh,
they used to use Chinese system
like the Hanja.
before.
Han,
Yes, Hanja, and they still use it in some official documents. They write their names, their full names in Chinese, Hanja,
mhm.
and the pronunciation of different words and the stems, the parts of the word, they are kind of similar. They're
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. Although I'm a beginner in both or lower intermediate in Chinese, yeah, I've seen a lot of similarities, like
Mhm.
Zhongguo, Zhongguk, something like that. But and other words as well.
Yes.
A lot of similarities.
That's true. They only had one language before. Japanese uses before creating their own system, they used Chinese,
Yeah,
yeah, Korean also. That is absolutely true.
yeah. So, what language goals do you currently have? Is it to improve all the current languages, or do you have also some new languages in mind?
Well, I am planning to go deeper with what I already have, because I was actually thinking about maybe taking a new language, but in my current situation, it's better for me to deepen my knowledge, for example,
Yeah.
of Korean. That's why I'm going to take the exam just for myself, because I love to I love to suffer. I love
Yeah.
suffering a lot. That's why I put myself in such situation. And
Yeah.
of course, do I want to become, of course, I cannot become a part of this society, but I want to get closer.
Hmm.
I want to become an egg.
Yeah.
I have I have this feeling that my heart is finally here. I need to settle down. That's why I need to deepen my knowledge of Korean. As for English language, I use it on the same level as Russian, because if I read a news, I come across all types of news in English, and there are many other people using English. So English for me is not a big deal. I'm just sometimes curious about what's going on um, with kind of slang situation. What are the new buzzwords? What's going on on the linguistic side of the language? As for Chinese, I need to take a break from Chinese because I'm
Yeah.
currently
I was just going
with
to
my
ask how are you going to maintain your Chinese, but yeah, now you're answering.
if I want to maintain my Chinese, I could do it with my husband, who is getting ready for HSK examination currently. And I still have WeChat. I still have some friends, my Chinese friends,
Yeah.
and I still can use Baidu or something like Baidu is
Yeah, I
Chinese
know. Yeah.
Google. It's for, I mean, for
Yeah, yeah,
people
yeah, for
maybe
everyone. Yeah, yeah.
for
Yeah,
listening,
yeah.
to find some information there, because if somebody asks me, and I'm teaching it, so that's how I'm maintaining my kind of some level of knowledge. And if somebody asks me about China that I don't know, I'm not Googling the information. I'm
Mhm.
Baiduing the information and read it
Mm.
in Chinese. So that's
Yeah, yeah,
how I can maintain
yeah.
my. I don't think I can maintain it on the same level all the time, but it would be a shame to just lose it all. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I will do my best.
Mm. I totally forgot that people might listen to us. So I was like, oh yeah, I know Baidu. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, of course. It's not just us discussing. Yeah, there might be people listening. So I think we've covered quite deeply like your story with languages, and it's been really interesting. Do you have anything in your mind now that has not been said or?
Well, I'm just afraid that I was talking too much about nothing. That's
No,
why.
no, 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 no way. That I think that was really interesting, and I
Thank
think
you so much.
other people might also think that it was really interesting to hear all this, your journey with languages and how you ended up where you are now.
Well, I think talking about languages, if we talk from different perspectives, it can be an internal dialogue. So or maybe your future podcasts, if there are any questions concerning some language or something like that, you could ask the people who are watching that. That would be kind of that would help,
Yeah,
because now what should I add? I don't know.
or
What more can I say?
yeah, Do you have any question in mind for the next guests?
For the next
Yeah,
guest.
that I could ask them.
Hmm.
You can also tell me later if it's too hard
Yeah,
to think now.
but the most important question that I guess all people come over and come across is, what do they do? What do you do? What does anybody do when they get this very burnout? We all have, sometimes we all have this feeling that we don't want to continue it anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe there are people who are like eternally every time. Yes, they are motivated, but maybe I would like to hear what other people do when they feel demotivated and they don't want to go any further.
That's a good question. I'll ask. Do you want to answer that one yourself?
I have
first?
no answer to this
Okay.
question.
Oh, that's why you want to ask it to get an answer.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Because if I don't want to do something, I just
You just quit.
stop doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was all, and I will be adding all Pauline's links here in the description. Also my own and our like language. We offer language notebooks that I have product placements here, and yeah, we have all the links, so check out them. And thank you, Pauline, and thanks for
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thanks for watching or listening. See you in the next episode.
Yay. Bye.